My precious child, I see you there. I see you in the quiet moments when you think no one is watching. I see the weight that sits heavy on your shoulders, the burden that follows you from morning until night. I know about the sleepless hours when your mind races with 1,000 different concerns, each one demanding your attention, each one stealing your peace. You've been carrying so much, haven't you? The bills that keep coming, the relationships that feel strained, the health concerns that whisper fear into your heart. The job situation that feels uncertain, the children you worry about, the dreams that seem too far away. You wake up each morning and the first thing that greets you isn't hope or joy, but that familiar heaviness, the weight of everything you need to figure out, everything you need to control, everything you need to make right. I want you to know something today. I want you to understand this with every fiber of your being. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. Never. The human heart, beautiful and strong as it is, was not designed to hold the weight of every tomorrow, every what if, every possible problem that might come your way. You've been trying to be strong enough, smart enough, prepared enough for everything life might throw at you, and my dear one, you're exhausted. I see the worry lines that have formed on your face. I see how your shoulders have learned to carry tension like a permanent companion. I see how you've forgotten what it feels like to take a deep breath without immediately thinking of the next thing you need to worry about. You've become so used to anxiety that peace feels foreign, almost unsafe. You've convinced yourself that if you stop worrying, if you stop planning for every disaster, something terrible will happen. But I'm here today with a different invitation. I'm here to offer you something your soul has been crying out for, something you've been searching for in all the wrong places. I'm here to tell you that there's another way to live, another way to face tomorrow, another way to handle all the uncertainties that keep you awake at night. Give me your worries. Yes, you heard me correctly. Give them to me. All of them. The big ones that feel like mountains you'll never climb, and the small ones that buzz around your mind like persistent mosquitoes. The financial stress that makes your stomach tight, the relationship conflicts that make your heart heavy, the health fears that make you imagine the worst. The parenting concerns that make you question every decision, the work pressures that make you feel like you're never enough, the future uncertainties that make you feel lost and alone. I want them all. Every single one. You might be thinking, but you don't understand how real these problems are. You don't know how serious my situation is. These aren't just worries, these are real issues that need real solutions. My child, I know exactly how real they are. I know every detail, every complication, every reason you have to be concerned. I know the medical report that changed everything, the conversation that broke your heart, the bill that arrived when you could least afford it. I know the phone call you're dreading to make, the decision you can't seem to figure out, the relationship that's hanging by a thread. I know it all, and I'm still saying the same thing. Give me your worries. You see, when I ask you to give me your worries, I'm not asking you to pretend your problems don't exist. I'm not asking you to put on a fake smile and act like everything is fine when it's not. I'm not asking you to ignore reality or stop being responsible. What I'm asking you to do is stop trying to carry the emotional weight of problems that are too heavy for your heart to bear. There's a difference between being aware of a challenge and being consumed by worry about it. There's a difference between taking responsible action and losing sleep over things you cannot control. There's a difference between preparing wisely for the future and torturing yourself with imaginary disasters that may never come to pass. I want to show you how to live in that difference. I want to show you how to face life's challenges with strength instead of fear, with wisdom instead of worry, with peace instead of panic. But first, you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to open those tightly clenched fists and release your death grip on the illusion that worry is keeping you safe. Your worry has not prevented a single problem from entering your life. Your anxiety has not protected you from pain or loss. Your sleepless nights have not solved a single issue or made any situation better. All your worrying has done is steal your joy, rob your peace, and convince you that you're alone in your struggles. But you're not alone. You have never been alone, not even in your darkest moments, not even when it felt like the whole world had forgotten about you. I have been there every single time your heart raced with fear. I have been there every single time you felt overwhelmed by life's demands. I have been there in every sleepless night, every anxious moment, every time you wondered if you were strong enough to handle what was coming next. And I'm here now, reaching out my hands to you, asking you to trust me with the burdens that are breaking your back and crushing your spirit. I'm asking you to believe that the one who created the stars and knows each one by name is big enough to handle your mortgage payment. I'm asking you to trust that the one who makes the sun rise every morning without fail can be trusted with your tomorrow. I'm asking you to have faith that the one who has carried you through every storm so far is not going to abandon you in this one. When I asked you to give me your worries, I'm asking you to give me more than just your problems. I'm asking you to give me your need to control everything. I'm asking you to give me your belief that you have to figure it all out by yourself. I'm asking you to give me your fear that if you don't worry about something, it won't get handled properly. I'm asking you to give me your pride that says you should be strong enough to carry it all alone. I know it feels scary to let go. I know it feels risky to stop worrying about things that seem so important. You've been worrying for so long that it feels like responsibility, like love, like the smart thing to do. You worry about your children because you love them. You worry about your finances because you're responsible. You worry about your health because you want to take care of yourself. You worry about your future because you want to be prepared. But I want to show you a better way. I want to show you how love looks when it's not mixed with fear. I want to show you how responsibility looks when it's not driven by anxiety. I want to show you how preparation looks when it's guided by wisdom instead of worry. The love I have for you is perfect love, and perfect love casts out fear. When you love from a place of fear, that love becomes controlling, suffocating, desperate. But when you love from a place of peace, that love becomes freeing, nurturing, confident. I want to teach you how to love your family without drowning in worry about their every move. I want to teach you how to care for your responsibilities without being consumed by anxiety about every possible outcome. Your children need a parent who models peace, not panic. Your spouse needs a partner who brings calm to the chaos, not more anxiety to the mix. Your friends need someone who can offer hope and perspective, not someone who amplifies their fears with your own. The world needs your gifts, your talents, your unique contribution, but worry is stealing all of that from you and from everyone who could benefit from the best version of you. I see who you really are underneath all that worry. I see the person you were created to be before fear convinced you that worry was necessary for survival. I see your generous heart that wants to help others but is too overwhelmed by your own concerns to reach out. I see your creative spirit that has been silenced by the constant noise of anxiety. I see your natural joy that's been buried under layers of stress and concern. That person is still there. That light is still inside you. That peace is still available to you. But you'll never find it as long as you're carrying a burden you were never meant to bear. So here's what I want you to do right now, as you're listening to these words. I want you to imagine yourself sitting across from me. Look into my eyes and see nothing but love there, no judgment, no disappointment, no impatience with your struggles. See only complete understanding and infinite compassion. See the eyes of someone who knows every detail of your story and loves you completely just as you are. Now I want you to start telling me about what's been keeping you awake at night. Start with the biggest worry, the one that feels like it might crush you if you don't figure it out soon. Tell me about the fear that follows you everywhere you go. Tell me about the situation that makes your heart race every time you think about it. Don't hold back. Don't try to minimize it or make it sound less serious than it feels to you. Just tell me everything. As you're telling me, imagine me reaching out and taking that worry from your hands. See me holding it carefully, examining every detail, understanding completely why it's been so heavy for you to carry. Watch as I take all the sharp edges that have been cutting into your peace and smooth them out with my touch. See me taking all the weight that's been pressing down on your shoulders and lifting it away from you. Now tell me about the next worry. The one about your relationships, or your job, or your health. The one that whispers lies to you about how things will never get better, how you're not strong enough, how you're all alone. Watch as I take that one too, holding it with the same care, the same understanding, the same infinite capacity to handle what feels impossible to you. Keep going. Tell me about your money worries, your parenting fears, your regrets about the past, your anxiety about the future. Tell me about the dreams that feel too scary to pursue and the changes that feel too overwhelming to make. Tell me about feeling stuck, feeling hopeless, feeling like you're not enough and never will be. Give me every worry, every fear, every anxious thought that's been living rent-free in your mind. With each worry you release, feel your shoulders getting lighter. Feel your breathing getting deeper. Feel space opening up in your chest where there used to be only tightness. Feel your mind getting quieter as you clear out all the noise that's been drowning out your inner peace. This is not a one-time transaction. This is not me saying, "Give me your worries once and you'll never have another care in the world." Life will still happen. Challenges will still come. Unexpected situations will still arise. But what I'm offering you is a new way to handle all of it. I'm offering you a partnership where you never have to carry the emotional weight alone again. Every morning when you wake up and feel that familiar anxiety trying to settle on your shoulders, you can turn to me and say, "Here, you take this. I'm not carrying this today." Every time a new worry tries to take up residence in your mind, you can evict it immediately by handing it over to me. Every time fear tries to convince you that you're not safe, not provided for, not loved, you can remind yourself that you have a protector who never sleeps, a provider who owns everything, and a father whose love for you will never run out. You don't have to be strong enough for everything anymore. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself. You don't have to carry tomorrow's problems today. You don't have to prepare for every possible disaster that might never happen. You don't have to lose sleep over things you cannot control. What you need to do is trust. Trust that the one who has never failed you will not start now. Trust that the one who has brought you through every challenge so far has not run out of solutions. Trust that the one who loves you more than you can comprehend is not going to let you fall. Your worries have been like chains around your ankles, keeping you from running freely toward the life you were meant to live. But I'm here with the key to unlock every chain. I'm here to set you free from the prison of anxiety that's been holding you captive. I'm here to show you what it feels like to wake up in the morning with anticipation instead of dread, with hope instead of fear, with peace instead of panic. So what do you say, my precious child? Are you ready to give me your worries? Are you ready to experience what it feels like to live without carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Are you ready to discover the person you were always meant to be when you're not drowning in anxiety about tomorrow? I'm here. My hands are open. My heart is ready to receive every burden you've been carrying. All you have to do is let go. Now that you've placed your worries in my hands, I want you to understand what happens in this sacred exchange. This is not just me taking something from you and leaving you empty-handed. This is a divine transaction where everything you give me is transformed into something beautiful, something powerful, something that will change your life forever. You see, when you give me your fear, I don't just make it disappear into nothing. I take that fear and I transform it into faith. Every ounce of energy you were spending on being afraid now becomes energy for believing, for trusting, for moving forward with confidence. Where there was once paralyzing terror about the future, there is now unshakable faith that everything will work out according to my perfect plan for your life. When you give me your anxiety about money, about having enough, about making ends meet, I transform that anxiety into assurance. I take all that worried energy about provision and I turn it into peaceful knowing that you are cared for, that your needs will be met, that you never have to worry about being abandoned or forgotten. The same mind that was calculating disaster scenarios and imagining financial ruin is now filled with gratitude for what you have and confidence about what's coming. When you give me your relationship fears, the worry that you're not loved enough, not wanted enough, not good enough for the people in your life, I transform those fears into deep, unshakable knowing of your worth. I take every insecurity, every doubt about whether you matter, and I replace it with the absolute certainty that you are precious, valued, and irreplaceably important. The voice in your head that used to whisper lies about your inadequacy now speaks truth about your belovedness. This exchange is not just about removal, it's about replacement. I don't leave empty spaces in your heart where the worries used to live. I fill every space with something infinitely better. Where there was chaos, I bring order. Where there was confusion, I bring clarity. Where there was desperation, I bring hope. Where there was isolation, I bring the deep knowing that you are never, ever alone. I want you to feel this happening right now as we speak. As you've released each worry to me, can you sense something shifting inside you? Can you feel your breathing becoming deeper, more natural? Can you feel your shoulders relaxing, the tension melting away like snow in the warm sun? That's not just relief you're feeling, that's transformation. That's the physical evidence of an internal miracle taking place. Your body is responding to your soul's liberation. Your nervous system, which has been in fight or flight mode for so long it forgot how to rest, is finally receiving the signal that it's safe to relax. Your mind, which has been running at maximum speed trying to solve unsolvable problems, is finally allowed to slow down and find its natural rhythm again. Your heart, which has been armored against disappointment and protected against hope, is finally free to open and receive the love that's been waiting for you all along. But I want to go deeper than just this moment of relief. I want to show you what your new reality looks like, what it means to live in partnership with me instead of in isolation with your fears. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the first thought that enters your mind will not be about all the problems waiting for you. Instead, you'll wake up with a sense of anticipation, wondering what good things this day will bring. The financial pressure that used to greet you before your feet even hit the floor will be replaced by a quiet confidence that your needs are known and your provision is already arranged. Instead of immediately calculating how much money you don't have, you'll find yourself grateful for what you do have and expectant about the resources that are coming your way. The bills will still need to be paid, the budget will still need to be managed, but the crushing weight of financial fear will be gone. The relationship worries that used to consume your thoughts will be transformed into wisdom about how to love better. Instead of anxiously analyzing every conversation for signs of rejection or disappointment, you'll find yourself naturally focusing on how to show up more fully for the people you care about. Instead of desperately trying to control other people's feelings about you, you'll be free to simply be yourself and trust that the right people will appreciate the authentic you. The health fears that used to send you spiraling into worst-case scenarios will be replaced by sensible care for your body and peaceful acceptance of things beyond your control. You'll still go to doctor appointments, still take care of yourself, still pay attention to symptoms that need attention. But you won't torture yourself with endless internet searches about rare diseases, and you won't lose sleep over medical results that haven't even come back yet. This transformation goes even deeper than changing your thought patterns, though that's certainly part of it. I'm changing your entire relationship with the future. Where you used to approach tomorrow with dread, wondering what might go wrong, you'll now approach it with curiosity, wondering what might go right. Where you used to brace yourself for impact, expecting problems, you'll now open yourself to receive blessings, expecting goodness. I'm giving you new eyes to see your life with. The same circumstances that looked hopeless through the lens of worry will look full of possibility through the lens of faith. The same relationships that seemed doomed through the filter of fear will seem full of potential through the filter of love. The same future that appeared threatening through the fog of anxiety will appear bright and promising through the clear air of trust. You'll start noticing things you never saw before because your mind was too occupied with worry to pay attention. You'll notice the small kindnesses people show you, the little signs that things are working out, the unexpected solutions that appear just when you need them. You'll start seeing evidence everywhere that you are cared for, watched over, and guided by a love that never fails. But this exchange isn't just about you feeling better, though that's certainly important to me. It's about unleashing the person you were always meant to be but couldn't become while you were weighed down by worry. It's about freeing up all the energy you were spending on anxiety so you can use it for the purposes you were born to fulfill. Think about all the mental and emotional energy that's been tied up in worry. Think about all the creativity that's been suppressed by anxiety, all the love that's been held back by fear, all the dreams that have been postponed by uncertainty. When that energy is no longer being wasted on worry, it becomes available for living, for creating, for loving, for making a difference in the world. You have gifts that the world needs, but worry has been like a blanket thrown over your light, dimming your brightness and muffling your voice. When I take your worries, I'm also removing that blanket. I'm setting your light free to shine at full brightness. I'm giving your voice permission to speak with confidence and authority. I'm unleashing the creative force that's been locked up inside you, waiting for fear to get out of the way. The same mind that's been generating anxious thoughts will now generate innovative solutions. The same heart that's been consumed with worry will now overflow with compassion for others who are struggling. The same intuition that's been clouded by fear will now provide clear guidance for the decisions you need to make. The same passion that's been dampened by anxiety will now burn bright for the causes and people you care about most. I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now, living in this new reality. Picture yourself waking up refreshed because you actually slept through the night instead of lying awake worrying. See yourself having conversations where you're fully present instead of distracted by anxious thoughts. Watch yourself making decisions from a place of wisdom and peace instead of from panic and desperation. Imagine how different your relationships will be when you're not bringing worry and anxiety to every interaction. Think about how much more you'll be able to give to others when you're not emotionally drained by your own fears. Consider how much more effective you'll be at work, how much more patient you'll be with your family, how much more generous you'll be with your time and resources when you're not hoarding everything out of fear of scarcity. But perhaps most importantly, imagine how different your relationship with me will be. Right now, you probably come to me mostly when you're in crisis, when the worry has become unbearable and you need emergency relief. But when you're living in this new reality, our relationship becomes a daily partnership. You'll start each day by checking in with me, not because you're panicked about what might go wrong, but because you're excited to see what we're going to accomplish together. You'll find yourself throughout the day naturally turning to me for guidance, not from a place of desperation but from a place of trust. You'll end each day by reviewing it with me, sharing your gratitude for how things unfolded and your excitement about what tomorrow might bring. Our relationship will become the foundation of your peace instead of the emergency plan you turn to when everything else fails. This is what I've always wanted with you, not a crisis hotline relationship, but a every moment of everyday partnership. I want to be involved in your ordinary Tuesday afternoon as much as your emergency midnight crisis. I want to celebrate your small victories with you as much as I want to carry you through your major challenges. I want to be your first thought, not your last resort. When you live in this kind of partnership with me, worry becomes unnecessary because you know that nothing catches me off guard. You know that every challenge has already been anticipated and every solution has already been prepared. You know that my love for you is so complete that I would never allow anything to touch your life that wasn't somehow working for your ultimate good, even if you can't see how in the moment. This doesn't mean life becomes problem-free. It means you become problem-proof. It doesn't mean challenges stop coming. It means challenges stop overwhelming you. It doesn't mean you never face difficult circumstances. It means difficult circumstances never face you alone. The difference is that you'll meet every challenge with supernatural backup. You'll face every crisis with divine resources. You'll approach every problem with heavenly perspective. What used to feel like insurmountable obstacles will feel like puzzles to be solved with divine wisdom. What used to feel like attacks on your peace will feel like opportunities to experience my faithfulness in new ways. And here's something beautiful that will happen. As you live more and more in this reality, you'll become a source of peace for others. People will start coming to you when they're worried or afraid because there will be something different about you, something that speaks of deeper peace and unshakable hope. You'll become a living testimony to the truth that worry is optional, that anxiety doesn't have to rule anyone's life, that there is another way to live. Your family will see the change in you and want what you have. Your friends will notice that you respond to stress differently than you used to and want to know your secret. Strangers will be drawn to the peace that radiates from you and want to know how they can find it too. You'll have opportunities to tell your story, to share what this exchange has meant in your life, to offer hope to others who are drowning in the same worries that used to drown you. But even as you help others, you'll never have to carry their burdens. You'll learn the difference between caring about someone and carrying their problems for them. You'll learn how to offer support without taking on their anxiety. You'll learn how to pray for others without absorbing their fears. You'll become a channel of peace rather than a repository for everyone else's worries. This is the life I'm offering you in exchange for your worries. This is what becomes possible when you stop trying to carry burdens you were never meant to bear. This is what opens up when you trust me with the things that have been stealing your sleep and crushing your spirit. So receive this exchange, my beloved child. Let it sink deep into your soul. Feel the transformation taking place in every cell of your being. Accept the peace I'm giving you. Embrace the hope I'm placing in your heart. Welcome the faith I'm building in your spirit. This is your new reality. This is your inheritance as my child. This is what it means to live in partnership with perfect love. The old you, the worried you, the anxious you, that person is being transformed into someone new. Someone confident. Someone peaceful. Someone who knows beyond any doubt that they are loved, cared for, and never alone. Someone who faces the future with anticipation instead of dread. Someone who sleeps soundly at night because they know their tomorrow is in perfect hands. This is who you're becoming. This is who you were always meant to be. And this is just the beginning. Now I want to show you what your life looks like from this day forward. I want to paint a picture so vivid, so real, that you can step into it right now and begin living as the worry-free person you were always meant to be. This isn't just about feeling better for a moment, this is about completely reshaping how you move through the world, how you face each new day, how you handle every challenge that comes your way. When you wake up tomorrow morning, something will be fundamentally different. That first moment of consciousness, when your mind starts to come online and awareness begins to flood back, that moment that used to be immediately hijacked by your worry list will now be filled with something entirely new. Instead of your eyes opening to mental sirens blaring about all the problems waiting for you, you'll wake up with a deep, settled knowing that this day is a gift and that you are not facing it alone. Your feet will hit the floor with a different energy. Where there used to be the heavy weight of dread about what the day might bring, there will now be a lightness, an anticipation, a curious excitement about what good things might unfold. You'll move through your morning routine not as someone preparing for battle, but as someone getting ready to dance with life, to partner with divine love in creating something beautiful out of whatever this day brings. The mirror will reflect back someone different. The worry lines that have been etched into your face by months or years of anxiety will begin to soften. Your eyes, which have been clouded by fear and stress, will be clear and bright. Your shoulders, which have been permanently hunched under the weight of your burdens, will sit naturally, relaxed and confident. You'll see someone who looks rested, peaceful, and ready for whatever comes. But the most dramatic change won't be in how you look, it will be in how you think. That constant mental chatter, that endless loop of what-if scenarios and worst-case planning that has been the soundtrack of your inner life, will be replaced by something entirely different. Where there used to be noise, there will be quiet. Where there used to be chaos, there will be order. Where there used to be frantic mental activity, there will be peaceful, purposeful thought. Your mind will become like a clear, still lake instead of a turbulent ocean. Thoughts will come and go naturally, but they won't crash over you in overwhelming waves. You'll be able to think about your responsibilities and challenges with clarity and wisdom instead of with panic and confusion. You'll be able to plan and prepare without obsessing and catastrophizing. You'll be able to care about outcomes without being controlled by them. This mental transformation will change everything about how you approach your day. When you sit down to check your bank account, instead of bracing yourself for disaster, you'll simply be gathering information to make wise decisions. When you have a difficult conversation ahead of you, instead of rehearsing all the ways it could go wrong, you'll prepare your heart to speak with love and your mind to listen with wisdom. When you face an uncertain situation, instead of trying to control every variable, you'll focus on controlling your own response and trusting that everything else will work out as it should. Your relationships will transform in ways that will surprise and delight you. When you're no longer constantly preoccupied with your own worries, you'll have so much more emotional and mental energy available for the people you love. You'll be able to listen to them fully, without half your mind being distracted by your own anxious thoughts. You'll be able to be present in conversations instead of planning what you're going to worry about next. Your family will notice that you're different. Your spouse will comment on how much more relaxed you seem, how much more fun you are to be around. Your children will respond to the peace they sense in you. Children are incredibly sensitive to the emotional atmosphere around them. And when that atmosphere changes from anxiety to peace, they flourish in ways you never expected. Your friends will start seeking you out when they need someone to talk to because there's something about your presence now that feels safe and calming. But here's what's really beautiful. You'll start attracting different kinds of conversations and relationships. When you're no longer radiating worry and stress, you stop drawing worried and stressed people who want to share their problems with you. Instead, you start attracting people who are also on a journey toward peace, people who inspire you and encourage you, people who add to your life instead of draining from it. At work, you'll find yourself approaching tasks and challenges with a completely different energy. Projects that used to stress you out will become interesting puzzles to solve. Deadlines that used to make you panic will simply be parameters to work within. Difficult colleagues will become opportunities to practice patience and grace instead of sources of constant irritation and worry. You'll discover that you're actually much more creative and effective when you're not operating from a place of stress and anxiety. Ideas will flow more freely. Solutions will come more easily. You'll find yourself taking on challenges that you used to avoid because they seemed too overwhelming. The energy that was previously being drained by worry will now be available for productivity, creativity, and excellence. Your financial life will stabilize in ways that go beyond just the numbers in your bank account. Yes, you may find that money flows more easily when you're not approaching it from a place of fear and scarcity. But more importantly, your relationship with money will be healed. You'll be able to make financial decisions from wisdom instead of from panic. You'll be able to be generous without worrying that there won't be enough for you. You'll be able to plan for the future without being paralyzed by fear about what might happen. The bills will still come, but they won't carry the same emotional charge they used to. You'll open them with the same calm confidence you'd open any other piece of mail. You'll pay what you can pay and make arrangements for what you can't, all without the crushing anxiety that used to accompany every financial decision. You'll trust that your needs will be met, and that trust will free you to be wise and responsible with resources instead of hoarding them out of fear. Your health will improve in ways that will amaze you. The physical symptoms of chronic stress and anxiety, the headaches, the digestive issues, the muscle tension, the sleep problems will begin to fade as your nervous system finally gets permission to relax. You'll sleep more deeply because your mind isn't racing with worries. You'll digest your food better because your stomach isn't tied in knots. You'll have more energy because you're not depleting yourself with constant stress. But beyond the physical improvements, you'll develop a completely different relationship with your health. Instead of being hypervigilant about every symptom and imagining the worst possible diagnosis, you'll be able to take reasonable care of your body without obsessing over it. You'll go to medical appointments with curiosity instead of dread. You'll receive test results with equanimity instead of panic. You'll trust your body's ability to heal and your access to good medical care when you need it. When health challenges do arise, and they might, because living in peace doesn't mean living in a bubble, you'll face them with a strength and grace that surprises everyone, including yourself. You'll be able to advocate for yourself without being driven by fear. You'll be able to make treatment decisions from wisdom instead of from desperation. You'll be able to walk through difficult diagnoses and treatments with a peace that passes understanding. This new way of living will change how you dream and plan for the future. Where you used to be afraid to hope for good things because disappointment felt too risky, you'll now find yourself naturally expecting good outcomes. Where you used to spend your mental energy preparing for disasters, you'll now spend it envisioning possibilities. Where you used to hold back from pursuing your dreams because they felt too uncertain, you'll now move toward them with confidence. You'll start setting goals again, not from a place of desperate need to control your future, but from a place of joyful anticipation about what you might create. You'll take risks that you used to avoid, not because you've become reckless, but because you're no longer paralyzed by the fear of failure. You'll say yes to opportunities that you used to decline because they felt too scary or uncertain. The dreams that have been buried under layers of worry and practicality will start to resurface. That business you always wanted to start, that creative project you never had time for, that relationship you were too afraid to pursue, that adventure you always talked yourself out of, all of these possibilities will start to feel possible again because you're no longer using all your mental and emotional energy to manage your fears. And here's something wonderful. You'll discover that living without the burden of worry actually makes you more capable of handling real challenges when they arise. When you're not exhausted from fighting imaginary battles in your mind, you have much more strength available for the real battles that sometimes come. When you're not overwhelmed by invented problems, you can think clearly and act decisively when actual problems need to be solved. This doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties. It means you'll face them as someone who knows they're not alone, someone who has access to wisdom beyond their own understanding, someone who has experienced rescue and provision and protection in the past, and can therefore trust it in the future. You'll approach challenges like someone who has divine backup, not like someone who has to figure everything out on their own. When crisis comes, and it might, you'll be the one others turn to for strength and perspective. You'll be the voice of calm in the storm, the source of hope when others are despairing, the example of faith when others are giving in to fear. Not because you're naturally stronger or smarter than everyone else, but because you've learned the secret of where true strength comes from. You'll find yourself praying differently. Instead of those desperate, frantic prayers that used to pour out of you when you were overwhelmed by worry, your prayers will become conversations with someone you trust completely. Instead of begging and pleading for relief from your fears, you'll find yourself expressing gratitude for the peace you've received and asking for wisdom to handle whatever comes next. Your prayers will become less about asking me to change your circumstances and more about asking me to give you the grace to respond to your circumstances with love and wisdom. You'll find yourself praying for others more because you're not consumed with your own problems. You'll find yourself interceding for the worried and anxious people in your life, not from a place of shared anxiety, but from a place of peace that believes breakthrough is possible for them too. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about your new life will be how naturally you'll find yourself helping others discover this same freedom. Without even trying to be a counselor or teacher, you'll become a living example of what's possible. People will ask you what's different about you, how you stay so calm in situations that would have others panicking. And you'll have a story to tell, not a theory or a technique, but a real, lived experience of transformation. You'll be able to look someone in the eye who is drowning in the same worries that used to drown you and say with complete authenticity, "I know exactly how you feel, and I also know there's another way to live." You'll be able to share not just the promise of peace, but the actual reality of it. You'll be able to point them to the same source of help that rescued you from your worries. This is your calling now, not to be a perfect person who never faces challenges, but to be a free person who faces challenges from a place of peace and partnership with divine love. You're becoming a demonstration that worry is optional, that anxiety doesn't have to rule anyone's life, that there really is another way to live. Every day, you'll have opportunities to choose this peace over panic, this trust over worry, this faith over fear. And every time you make that choice, you'll be strengthening the new pathways in your mind and heart. You'll be building evidence for yourself that this new way of living really works. You'll be creating a foundation of peace that becomes stronger and more unshakable with every passing day. Some days will be easier than others. Old patterns of thought will sometimes try to reassert themselves. Old worries will occasionally knock on the door of your mind, trying to find their way back in. But now you'll know what to do with them. You'll recognize them as old visitors who are no longer welcome, and you'll hand them right back to me. You'll remember that you don't have to carry them anymore, that you have a better option now. This is your new normal. This is what the rest of your life looks like when you're living in partnership with perfect love instead of in isolation with your fears. This is what becomes possible when you truly understand that your worries are now mine and my peace is now yours. Your journey into this new life starts right now, in this very moment. You don't have to wait until you feel stronger or more prepared. You don't have to earn this peace or prove that you deserve it. It's yours because you are mine, and I want nothing more than to see you living in the freedom and joy you were always meant to experience. So step into this new reality. Walk forward with confidence. Live like someone who knows they are loved, protected, and never alone. Because that's exactly who you are, and that's exactly how your story continues from here. Your worries are mine now. My peace is yours. And your life will never be the same.